And that wind is ripping today. Anyway, just heading out to the store right now. I'm gonna pick up a few things. The next couple days are pretty much just gonna be setting up the camper. Gonna clean out the water tanks, fill them up, set up whatever electrical stuff needs to be worked on. The actual calving hasn't actually started yet. We're watching them right now, because you could always have an early one. But that's not expected to happen until we get into May. So we got a little bit of time to do all this kind of setup stuff here. You helping? You help me unload the groceries? All right, got it all put away. I brought back the receipt of doom and despair. At least should be stocked for a while. Find anything interesting in there? All right, so right now we're looking for a plug that fell out of this water here, and it's likely somewhere in that puddle. So what I'm doing now is just digging a little trench here, get this water to drain out through there, and hopefully it's in there. Any of you ladies seen a rubber plug around here? There it is. Found it.
We can kind of. His first playing in the mud job. Maybe it's just gonna do that while it runs. It's getting longer, it cuts off.
Alright, we're heading out to do our first kind of check around with the cows. No one's expected to be calving this early on, but it's good to just check, make sure no one's struggling out here. Now, I'd usually be doing this with the cameras, but since we don't have this set up yet, just head out here in person. Last time I was here, we had about 160 cows. So this year, we only got about 60 of them to watch over, which makes things a bit easier. This isn't all of them here. There's a group that's out right now. These are just ones that are expected sooner. We'll do that a couple more times tonight, and then head to bed at around 2 in the morning. My job is the night watch, so I'm gonna be pretty much nocturnal for most of the time I'm here. Thankfully, I'm used to that. But yeah, I'll give a proper tour of this whole place in the daytime whenever I can. Well, hello. I guess I'll give you guys kind of a tour of the nearby area here. So this right here is the barn. Right now we got it all set up to bring in cows and give them a nice warm place to give birth. That way they're not out there in below 0 degrees trying to have a calf. Now this pen right here is the area we keep the new pairs in. So the cows that just had a calf, this is where they'll be staying. So I got some pens out here in case it's not too cold outside, but a cow still needs an isolated place to have a calf. We got these here. And this area over here is where we keep the cows that are expected to birth pretty soon. We got about 31 in here right now, I think. And no one's actually had a calf yet, but we are getting close. And we kind of rotate them around in these few different pens over here, depending on where it's most convenient to have them. Sometimes if it's cold, we want to keep them in nearby. So it's easier to bring them in. Now my main job in all of this is the night watch. I watch on these cameras out here, check to see if any of these cows are showing any early signs of giving birth. And if they are, then I come out here and bring them into the barn, because it gets cold here out in East Montana in the spring. So with these guys being in the barn as they're calving, it gives their calves a nice, decently warm place where it's not gonna just freeze to death. Of course, watch as it's happening, make sure there's no kind of issues. Too often that you have to assist, but eventually that does happen a time or two in the season. At this group of 30 here, another group of 30 that are outside the pens right now. They're not expected to have their calves till later in the season. Then we got a couple groups of bulls, and they all need to be fed during the day, and that's usually my job. So yeah, that's what I'm heading out to do now. There are hay stores over there. By the end of the season, most of that'll be gone. Of course, I also help with any other miscellaneous chores that need to be done. It's a basic rundown of what I'm doing. chunk down and come back and get him with the tractor. So now we gotta head over into those small areas.
Treated this way. Going down the road. Going down the road. Feeling bad. Going down the road. Feeling bad. Bad, bad. Wanna be treated this way.
It gets hot in there after a while. Yeah, I know. It's out there. Well, that's it for feeding for today. Just gonna open a couple of gates up here, let them cycle through this area. And that's pretty much it for my day chores now. It'll get more busy as soon as the calving gets going. And we'll have stuff like pen cleaning, tagging and weighing the calves, all sorts of fun stuff. A nice afternoon for a run, don't you think? Show you guys what I'm looking at here. This is totally the same day, by the way. Pay no attention to the random snowfall on the ground. This is definitely the same day that I made those sandwiches. Totally isn't like a week later or something. We got 4 cameras, 2 on the outside and then 2 in the barn. Now these are 360 pivoting cameras, so I use this controller down here and I can actually turn these things around. I can zoom in, do whatever I need to do. So yeah, I'm watching these basically from when my day chores end to about 4 in the morning every night. I might check the cameras every 20 or 30 minutes. I'm looking for early signs like if a cow's maybe separating themselves from the group, maybe they're twitching their tail a lot. Those are some of the earlier signs. And then if they're really close, you'll see them laying down, pushing. Sometimes you'll see the water bag hanging off their backside. So yeah, this is what I see, and those are the kind of things I'm looking for. Yeah, that's gonna be it for part 2. I'll see you guys again when the calving starts.